What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Vant and Rant podcast, episode number 542. It was a pretty boring day today, but Mike, let me hear it. How was your day?
Shit. It was a shit day.
I mean, look, if you're trading the market today, God help you.
It was crazy, man. Hopefully, everybody's waiting for FOMC minutes, and I'm waiting for FOMC minutes. So maybe we'll have a couple good trades for you guys.
Do you really think that we're going to have a big move off FOMC minutes? I mean, what else can they say?
Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, FOMC minutes is, it's another piece to the puzzle. And so, if anything, it's leaving big players on the sidelines. I mean, the big boys aren't going to trade in front of the minutes coming out. And because what it's going to get, I know it's old data, but it's going to give us insight to a lot of stuff. So it's going to give us insight to the future rate hikes, as far as what the committee's thinking about for July. Is it going to be 50? Are they thinking 50 basis points, 75 basis points? I'm also looking to see if there was any discussion at all about a 100 basis point move in June, because I know there were some participants that thought that they were going to move 100 basis points. But, I think it's definitely the reason we're getting this slowdown and this chop, because nobody wants to get caught in front of it. Now, don't forget, you also have non-farm payrolls on Friday, and that's going to be a big report. So, we got a lot to kind of look at, and right now the markets are just it's the calm before the storm, man.
We already know, so I don't really know though. So I agree. I think that's why we're moving sideways. Do we get a big move off of this as far as pushing us in a direction? That's probably where I want to defer a little bit there, but
I think we're looking. Look, the seasonality, we talked about it. First 2 weeks of July is the most bullish part of the year for the markets, and we have at the end of next week. So we're kind of in this 2 week period, right? At the end of next week, earnings start. We have CPI comes in next week. I believe towards the end. So we have this kind of lull, and the markets kind of are looking like they want to push up, right? We're kind of forming that low. We saw some basing in some of the tech stocks that have been beaten up and stuff like that. So I think the markets just wants an excuse to kind of, maybe get going a little bit. But
sure. Yeah. I definitely think it's looking forward to that non-farm as well on Friday. Born alarm. I was more referring boring as far as the market goes. If you're trading commodities, it was definitely not a boring day. As far as I saw, not many headlines today. But why don't you just show us what you're looking at in the market today, Mike?
Well, there were some headlines today, actually.
Yeah, couple, but...
Yeah, we got the JOLTS report, which, Nick's favorite report, and didn't disappoint. We got better than expected ISM data. So I think you're seeing it reflective in what's going on with rates and some of the other markets that are moving right now. So definitely moved the market when we were trading, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But if you look at the SPY here, weekly, we still didn't print that lower low. So we're still respecting. So now 4 weeks right now, currently in this week, where we have had higher lows. I know it doesn't look as pretty in here, this bar so far in this week compared to the previous weeks, but shorted week, got some reports to kind of get through. But if you look at the daily chart, we're above this 380.54, which is a level that I was kind of talking about. We kind of gapped up above it, which is nice. We did test back down into this range, but we're kind of in no man's land right now. So just kind of waiting and testing air. If you look at the 4 hour chart, Ty, what do you see?
Yeah, definitely coiling in there really nicely, providing higher lows, lower highs. It is still sitting at that upper end, below that level where those two arrows you have are. So as long as it remains above that 385.42 area right there, I think it pushes down. But if it breaks that, I think we get a nice little squeeze like you were talking about.
Yeah, we'll have to see, whether we can get that. I'm thinking, 2 o'clock. We typically towards the end of the show, we've seen some buying coming into the market, so maybe maybe we won't disappoint.
It is hugging the upper end of that zone there, so maybe we do get that buying at the end.
Yeah, it is. And if you look at the 15-minute chart, man, you got nice little break in here. At least not chopping around down at the bottom of this range. So we are above this 5 EMA, which is bullish on the daily chart. So we'll have to see. But here, if you look at the intraday, the 2-minute chart, boy, does this hurt your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing to really look at here. But if you look at the attack in Q, same thing, above the 50% retracement level, you can see same kind of scenario playing out. We do have the 200 kind of sitting overhead at 291. So that'll be something interesting if we get any run up out of here. But really with tech, gave a little trade here as we were coming onto the show. And I was talking about this on the desk. You can see nice little wedge in here. Tech was stronger and a nice ascent. And then we finally broke out of here. So maybe we come back and retest this. Maybe you get a trade out of it. But just chop, and frustrating trading.
Yeah.
Frustrating trading. So it's just it hasn't been fun. It's IWM is actually, you can see here this pre-COVID breakout level. We're held today as far as we did pierce it a little bit. We're back above it. So and IWM's been weaker, so it's still being capped by VWAP. So we'll see. We'll see if we get some kind of run out of here. Oil. I mean, I can't wait to get your analysis again on oil. Oil just weak again, recession theme playing out. The dollar breaking that 106 level, 107 looking strong again. And then based off of the data we got today, you're starting to see rates kind of get a little bit of a boost, and we can kind of talk about some of that data. We had the JOLTS data. Now the JOLTS, that's Nick's favorite employment number. It's 2 months delayed, so you got to take it with a grain of salt for me. But it still kind of gives you a little bit of an eye-opening. We're still seeing this tight labor market. I don't know if you saw the JOLTS number, Ty.
Yeah. No, I saw it. I mean, it's definitely still tight. I mean, it came in higher than expected as far as expectations at 11.25 million job openings versus the 11.05 million. Previous revision was 11.68 million, so dropped pretty good off of the previous revision, but it didn't drop as much as they thought it would. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 5.3 more vacant jobs than unemployed workers.
It's still hugging that 2 openings per unemployed worker number, so it's definitely not getting any better.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. So, just I don't know. I don't know what to say about it, but still tight labor market. Quit rate was lower, but it's still high. So it's just crazy. But the U.S. ISM data did come in better than expected. And I kind of want to pull that data up because there is a couple things in that data that I like to look at the survey. The U.S. composite new orders fell for the first time in 2 years, which is important. And what I really wanted to highlight is the fact that employment for services and manufacturing contracted in June. Okay, so that's important there. So the survey is saying that manufacturing data jobs and services jobs contracted, which could prep us for a negative to the surprise to the downside for non-farm payrolls on Friday. So I'm going to be watching that a little bit from the survey print. So that's definitely something to take a look at.
Yeah, agreed. I think Friday will be an interesting data. It did still slow down. The growth in service did slow down a little bit since May, but it obviously didn't slow down nearly as much as we were expecting. So that's positive news there. But
yeah, it is. It is positive news. So, tough. You got some news. The market's kind of sitting there. I was with Bornholm. I thought Williams was supposed to speak today, and I didn't see it. I didn't see him speak. Then I saw Daly was speaking. Had a couple comments come out and stuff like that. I didn't know Daly was speaking. So we do have Bullard tomorrow. We don't have ADP tomorrow though, so that's something to kind of look at. And yeah, Bornholm, this TNX does kind of look like the half side of a head and shoulders pattern. And if we're heading for a recession, then, that's going to probably play out into that. But I guess Mal's puts working pretty good. We're working pretty good on that. But anyhow, we'll have to see, man. All I know is this action was shit action today. So losses all around for me after a great day yesterday. You gotta be. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, should have traded gold today, like Bornholm said.
Yeah, should have traded gold. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do, man? But the gold, you got crypto, you got the dollar, you got all kinds of stuff on your side. So let's why don't you hammer it up, Ty? So
let's see what's going on over there. The dollar, nice continuation today. However, the 4 hours showing a little exhaustion here. We're running into some resistance, and we're showing that buyers are struggling to push it up much higher, and we're showing a little bit of divergence in here on the RSI. So one thing I'm watching is this 107.310 area on the daily, back in the 2002 level that I was keeping an eye on. It's more or less a zone, right? So that 107 mark that I had, or that 106.70 mark, you could have just drawn a zone from that top of the wick, which is 107.310, to this area here, and that's where you can expect a rejection. And that's, we're pushing into that zone now, and the 4 hours showing some of that exhaustion there. 1 hour showing it a little toppy in here, rolling over. So we could be getting a little bit of a pullback in here. And that's kind of what I was looking for. Weekly chart, still very bullish, but given that we're running into midweek, towards the end of the week now, I'd expect maybe leaving a little bit of a wick up here, rejecting this zone, and then we get a follow through next week. So 4 hour, 1 hour, looking a little bit exhausted here, expecting some type of pullback. But it is showing a nice continuation. So, if it holds 106.79, then you might get a nice hold and break. But once it starts breaking through 106.79, I think we see a little bit more of an extended pullback, potentially somewhere back into this zone here around 105.80. So we'll see, but looking a little heavy. Gold, nice drop today. Waited for the market open to drop. It was accumulating, consolidating at this 1765 level. Market opened, and it started dropping from there. Looking at the daily, it's reaching some pretty extreme levels in here. Obviously oversold on the daily chart. We're showing around a 24 on the RSI, somewhere in the mid to low 20s. But looking at where we're pushing into now, taking this zone off, we're now running into this 1730 area, which I think is where we're probably going to reach next. And it's looking very, very heavy in here. Obviously, there's really nice sell-off last 2 days. But look, you'll get some type of dip buying in here. I know Bornholm, I know you're keeping an eye on the gold dip buy, and you might get it soon, but it's not going to last. You're going to get an oversold buy, a dip buy. So one thing where I ultimately think that we could start heading with this oversold move is this triple bottom right here, 1678. You got to think with gold. Gold goes for the liquidity zones. And so the nearest liquidity zone that's attractive for gold is this. Actually, you move it over left as well. this is a very big liquidity zone for gold, this 1677. So it's going to probably be a magnet to it and attract it. So I'd look for a run towards this, break of 1700 area, and we'll probably get a continued sell-off here.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely won't be buying into this landslide here. You might get a temporary relief bounce off this 1725 area, but ultimately gold looks for those liquidity zones. I mean, you look at this move here, right? You have this nice liquidity zone right here. It finds it, ran it, and then pulled back. So that the next area of liquidity is going to be the 1677 area. So definitely keeping an eye on some continued selling for gold there. Oil hit that 95 mark that I was keeping an eye on, and it found a nice little bounce off of that. So you'll probably get a continuation here. 1 hour showing some really nice divergence here. So I think we'll see 102 come back into play, possibly by the end of the day today. If not tomorrow, we'll probably see it come back up into 102. And then that's going to be where we're going to see where's the weekly going to end up. Weekly is going to be a big play for me. Is the weekly going to close with similar to this week back on March 14th with a really big rejection and close back above 102? I think it could, but we'll have to see. I mean, there's really no further headlines today with the energy, but as expected, you're going to find some type of dip buying in this 95 area. It's held up pretty strong for a while now, even before COVID. So maybe you get a temporary bounce off here, but oil's not on my list right now. Things to buy. Maybe if we maybe something else will come of it, but if we start heading into a recession, I'm not going to be the one holding oil.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If we're heading into a recession, you think there'd be demand destruction going on with that. The interesting thing with oil is you guys got to be careful if you're trying to trade oil stocks off of oil move, because the futures contracts still are sitting in backwardation. So you still, basically what that means is you're not going to have, so you got the front month contracts just, they're sitting at higher. I mean, you got the backward month contracts sitting at, 65 to 75. And so what happens if oil starts to drop on the front end, the oil companies aren't going to get hit as bad because they're trading off of the long end of what the pricing mechanism is. And I think that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at oil versus oil contracts, because it's still kind of dislocated. We still got dislocations all across the commodity curve, actually, in futures contracts. So that's something that you want to look at. Okay, so you got to be careful of that correlation. And we talked about it's kind of reverse, right? When oil, remember when oil back after COVID, kind of crashing down to negative dollars, you had backwardation to the reverse there as well. I mean, we had that same type of situation.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I don't trade oil stocks, but if I did, you're spot on with that. So good point. Borlam, copper. I saw copper. I actually had a really good dip buy off that $3.30 level. It's the level I gave you yesterday where I wanted to see a continuation down to, and it hit 330. This is the top right here back in 2018, January of 2018, June as well. So we just hit that on the daily, finding some really nice, daily dip buying in there. So maybe you get an oversold relief rally out of here. We are oversold, pushing 17 on the RSI on the daily. So I think you get a temporary bounce, maybe up into this consolidation zone right here around 380. But right now, definitely a seller's market since, I guess, April of this year. So, hitting some pretty good dip buying in there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's right there. We talked about the copper relationship, Dr. Copper, they call it, basically pointing a leading indicator for recession. Nice little doji candle there off there, and I believe, yes, Bornheim, I like that state that you're talking about with the semiconductors, with copper kind of pulling off on some nice volume there. You can see semiconductors actually getting a little bit of a bid now.
Yeah, good looks on that. Bitcoin, nothing really to cover here. Still no new headlines. Still hanging out at this 20,000 mark, which is still that breakout point back from 2017 highs in here. So still hugging that area. Will remain hugging that area, I think, for a while. And it's a strong area, and people are going to hold it. So it might perform similar to this. Hugs it for a while, maybe for a couple months, and then we get some type of continuation there. So yeah, right now nothing to cover there.
Well, I mean, did you see Voyager filed for Chapter 11?
Yeah, I forgot. I did see that. I forgot. You're going to see. I mean, like we talked about, like you mentioned yesterday, you're going to continue to see the exchanges getting bought out and going into bankruptcy. It's just going to be a domino effect right now, especially with the ones still halting the withdrawals, and it's just a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah, it is a mess.
But, yeah, I mean, Euro USD still continuing down. I'm still looking for that, that 99-cent mark in here.
Are we at? Yeah, we at parity or whatever.
It's working its way there. It's like I mentioned, it's gonna be another one of those yen plays. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna dig yourself out of this one, but it ain't gonna be anytime soon. And so, look, if you're shorting the euro against the dollar, you're doing something right. So,
awesome.
Yeah, and that's really it. Yen's hanging in there right now, for now, but you'll get another breakout from there soon. It's coiling in here nice. I expect a break soon. But yeah, I'll hand it back on over to you, Mike, and could show us what you're looking at today.
All right, let me see if I can pull some of this stuff up here. I am looking at. One sec. So interestingly enough, and we'll go over some levels as we're getting half an hour until the 2 o'clock hour.
Right.
Coming up for FOMC minutes. Anyhow, let's look at the SPY. We're just kind of hanging here. So, it was just frustrating action in here. If you try to trade this chop, it's just frustrating. But I did want to bring up, I did kind of want to cycle through some sectors in here. So what's interestingly enough, if you look at the XBI, I'm really, really upset I didn't catch this breakout at 70. Gave a nice little run out. It did pierce this level and then kind of pull back through today, which kind of it was needed and expected. It is holding the 100. If it can hold the 100 in here, then maybe it gets some consolidation sideways, and here would be a bullish thing, and then we can get that to go sideways. But definitely something to take a look at. Semiconductors, based on what Borlam said, with the copper kind of maybe reversing itself a little bit, getting a little run up here off of the bottom. You can see the SMH in here. I like to see it get above this 199.46 and then 200, but yeah, I mean, definitely looking okay in here as far as kind of almost an ABCD pattern forming, and I think that may open some things up. But I did want to kind of point out, and I don't know if you saw this, Ty, but and I know actually Mal stole my thunder. You posted it in the Discord, but energy now is down more than tech from its 52-week high. That is insane to me. Okay.
Wow, really?
I mean, that's insane to me. Energy down, and I know Mal posted that. I had it waiting for the show, posted in Discord, but that's insane. Energy is down more than tech, and that just goes to show you how quickly a trend can reverse.
Wow.
So I guess all those fast money guys and Jim Cramer kind of suck and win here. But just crazy. But you also have, and I got another little chart for you on credit spreads. Thanks, Charlie Abelio. He puts out some of the best stuff. Credit spreads have started to widen. So 599 on high yield credit spreads. Now, we'd expect to see that. That's the highest that they've been since February 2020. But the key is, over the past 3 recessions, we've seen these credit spreads, and you can see in here, the past 3 recessions, they have hit over 1,000 from a yield spread. So we're on the rise up. We're starting to move. They're starting to peak out. So I thought I'd bring that up as well. So if you're thinking things are just, hunky dory, and then if you look at junk or high yield itself, kind of pulling off down at lows in here. So we'll be watching that as we kind of go forward for signs. And again, all you're looking for is clues to see if we can kind of somehow find ourselves, some kind of stabilization in here and see what the market's going to do. But yeah, Mo, so I see Mo, welcome in there. Mo said they only pee FOMC minutes because they only pee on the market. That's nice. Good for you. Guys, where can we see the minutes? We're going to bring you the minutes here. We'll post the link. Ty, if you can find the link for the minutes, I think it's on the Fed website.
Yeah, it is. I found it.
Yeah, we'll post them in the chat around 2 o'clock when we get to that part. So we'll make sure that you have it. But the thing is, with we were talking about, and I think, who was it that brought that up? And I'm trying to go back through in the chat. Somebody brought up, can't afford a house. Mo can't afford a house. Housing's crazy, man. And if you look at rentals, don't try to go look at rentals because there are none. Okay, and the rentals that are out there are just insane. So inflation definitely encrypted in that. And I've been hearing some whispers, so about what's going to happen with with housing. Well, Black Knight Mortgage Monitoring Service, which we follow, they're starting to see early signs of cooling in housing. So we're starting to look for that break too. I don't think you're going to get a break in housing until really we get more of a break in the market and we get more of a break with what's going on with rates and just some capitulation. We haven't seen that, and that's probably one of the hardest things because JP Morgan's coming out again, yapping their gums, saying we're going to be at all-time highs at the end of the year, which I find very hard to believe. But we really haven't capitulated, really haven't fallen off a cliff here. I know the market's come down pretty good, 25%. You can see if we pull up the daily chart in here, we've come off pretty good, but we got so much further to go. And through all this, we have not seen that capitulative selling. So it's definitely something to kind of keep on lockdown in here because I think it's going to be important. But we got this period of time. We got this two week, or now it's about a week and a half until the end of next week, where we got this lull. So we do have non-farm payrolls on Friday, but I think you're going to see more of the same. I think earnings season is really the what to look at. And to me, I know you volatility people, and with Mo being in here, with volatility, I think volatility is pretty low for where we're going in earnings season. I don't know what you think, Ty, but volatility, I think with volatility, with the VIX being below 30 heading into earnings season, if that holds, then I may be looking to play and put on some plays, go long in some volatility, because I think we're going to have a pretty volatile earnings season. If you look at the earnings season coming up, we start next week really with Q2 earnings. You got Delta on Wednesday, I believe. JP Morgan, of course, we always start with the banks. JP Morgan on Thursday. Taiwan Semiconductor, you got Morgan Stanley. Friday, you got Wells Fargo. You got United Health, USB, BlackRock, Citigroup. So we got earnings starting in earnest. And, with earnings, Q2, they're looking for growth of sales of 10.1% and growth of earnings about 4.1%. I really think, and you got to remember, backward dated information, I really think that energy, industrials, and materials, they're going to be the stocks I'm going to be looking for surprises to the upside with really, really good earnings. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So, and again, we talked about the backwardation with the oil contracts. So, the oil companies with this fall in oil, they're not getting hurt. Okay, so you got to understand that mechanism. So I'm really looking for surprises. As far as consumer discretionary, I think that's shit, and I don't even want to touch it during this earnings season. But I think you're going to see the VIX. I think you're going to see volatility expand going into the end of next week. Ty, can you do me a favor? When is CPI? If somebody knows it in the chat, if you can drop it. I could have swore it's next Wednesday. It might be the following week.
Yeah, it's next Wednesday.
Yeah, so the CPI print. Now, I see a lot of people coming out and thinking it's going to be a better CPI print. We gave you a great analysis of CPI. I have to say, very rarely, as a trader, when you're right, you got to pat yourself on the back. But we had some great live trades on the show that day, and we gave you a great analysis of CPI. And we talked about how slow CPI is to move through the through the pipeline. I still think you're going to get a really tough, hot CPI print. I don't think you're going to have it come in cool. So all these traders that, even famous traders are thinking we're going to get a lower CPI print. I just don't see it right now. So I think, right now we have VIX and volatility sitting really low, and I think we can get a nice little pop up into there. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, look, would it be ideal to short energy? Not now. I mean, right, Ty?
Yeah,
I
agree. I definitely not. It's definitely not the time yet. I think there will be a time, but I don't think it's yet.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time to short energy, but I don't think now's the time to short energy. You could have got a nice little short even in on this 105 on this trend line break in here off of the 100 yesterday, but I don't know. I'd be very scared to short energy in here right now. I think we're going to go through some volatility with that, and at least wait until you get through the CPI print, at least to see what we get with that. But I don't know. What's your analysis, Ty, as far as what we're looking at in the energy markets?
Yeah, I mean, look, right now you're still maintaining that. The dip buy thesis as far as we hit 95, we dip buy off of it. So if you're looking for a short, I mean, look, recession's around the corner in my opinion, and I think it'll take a hit on oil, but right now you're seeing some oversold divergence on oil, and I think we'll get another bounce. So look, if you're shorting now, I think you're in for some pain. I ultimately think so. Citi came out, and I know you weren't on our stream yesterday, but Citi came out and said, recession hits, we're hitting 65 for oil, which I could see, but I don't. That's months away. So I don't think we break 95 yet until we start seeing more of recessionary activities, and we see that demand destruction in oil. China's still coming out of lockdowns. That's going to pump up demand a little more. So you got to let things play out a little more before you're looking for energy shorts, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I mean, I hate when that does that. So anyhow, if you look at, I was just trying to see how much. I mean, you're talking about what, a 40% drop here.
Yeah.
On Apache, if you look at XOM, you're talking about a nice little. I hate these charts. 23% drop. So you're having the air. You already had the air pretty much come out a lot of these stocks. So I just be careful with that going forward. Yeah. So all right, let's continue going. I mean, Mo said short the trash stocks. I tell you what. I mean, I don't think the bottom's in for the trash stocks. You got to understand something. We have been in a bear market. Okay, so we're officially in a bear market now in this SPY, right? Officially, we actually hit that like 2 weeks ago. But a lot of these stocks have been in bear markets, and we've been through the last 2 months. We've been going through all these charts about looking and seeing, what stocks, what's happened to us to stocks here. And we talked about a firm, right? I mean, stocks like a firm, and you go through the list of these stocks. They've been beaten down, just incredibly beaten down. So we don't need to rehack that. But the one thing I will say is they are starting to get a little bit of a rounded bottom. And also when you start seeing bad news not price down the stocks, then I think maybe you're starting to see like roadblocks getting above the 50, having a hard time with the 100 in here, which used as a lid yesterday, kind of fighting as a lid in here. So I don't know that, again, these are stocks that the juice is kind of poured out, right? I mean, Affirm, look, I think that's going bankrupt, going out of business. So I think, we're still shorting Affirm as a firm, but, screw that. I mean, Peloton, I think, so much for the buyout thesis. I think they're going possibly bankrupt as, the world's most expensive coat hanger. But I mean, right now, I don't know. I would short these stocks because they've been beaten down so far, and the risk to reward is not as high as it was. So, that trade was a great trade while it lasted. Now you're starting to see some of these stocks basing, but I still don't know that we've seen the bottom. I think ARK, we have not seen the bottom. I think you can get a nice little pop up on ARK. I think maybe even get a pop up to the 200-day here on some of these stocks, but I think eventually that's the time I would come in and reshort these stocks. So I think we're in for a little bit longer. I think if we do have a recession, it's going to be milder but longer, okay? Because I think we're going to be heading in towards more of a stagflation period. People don't understand how hard it is to really get rid of inflation, okay? Inflation is a tough thing to get rid of, and then when growth starts pulling back, that brings us in that stagflation period. So I think the time to short these stocks will be coming to us towards maybe the end of August in here. Maybe we get a little pop up to the 200-day on ARK and some of the shit stocks. But right now I wouldn't be shorting them down here because I think they're showing some rounding action into that. Same thing, China stocks. I mean, look, you have the China stocks here starting to get a little around. I know they're weak today and down almost 5%. But, again, above their 50. So I don't know. It was great shorting these China stocks when the 50 was being used as a lid. This is great risk to reward right in here. Every time it hit the 50, short. Every time it hit the 50, short. Now we're above the 50. Okay. Yeah, we're below the 200, above the 50. So this is kind of indecision zone in here. So the easy risk to reward trade, we're done. We're done with that. So let's see how far we can get these to pop so we can reshort some of this trash and take it lower. As far as some of the stocks that we were trading today, I started some of the stocks. I mean, Redbox was a pretty good stock today, 11%. Nice little run rate in this one. Got some action going today. I didn't trade it. I mean, I was I'm just so upset with my trading today. But you had Redbox was kind of moving. You can see this is a former runner. You got to keep some of these former runners on the list because they can get going. Revlon filed Chapter 11, so of course, a la Hertz, time to buy, right, Ty?
Yep. Deja vu.
I mean, it's just crazy. So starting to lose some steam in here with the volume starting to peter off in here. So I don't know if this trade's going to have much more legs in it, but you did get a nice little run rate today on this break right out of here. But it's just not as easy it was. You can see from yesterday, if you bought from the bottom at 5, you could have sold out at 6. It was a nice little trade. We talked about that trade yesterday with some of our traders, but okay action today. This HGEN up 18% today. It's biotech. Just kind of wanted to pull that one up. Low price stock, but got some nice action going in here. Did not trade it. Really, the Fang Gang stocks are all moving today, and that's the ones that I'm looking at. So Microsoft, you can see here with Microsoft, we got nice little bump up into the 50 here, nice little bump up into the 50, but we're back to the 50 again rather quickly. You got a couple days of nice action in here, so I'm looking at a possible trade in Microsoft. If we get some decent action, maybe open up the buying doors coming in here towards after 2 o'clock. I may look to trade some Microsoft. I hate to say it, and Mark, if you're around, I mean Meta. I know he's traded Meta. Meta's looking kind of okay to me if it can get up above this 172 area. So and maybe go up and fill this gap up to 175. I think we can get Meta back up here. Then you at least get a run up to the 50-day, and that's all you could expect in some of these stocks right now. Remember, we're in a different market environment, and so we got to be careful on that. So we gotta watch what we're seeing in here as far as how much juice you want to get out of some of these stocks. Nvidia, another one of those dipping the toe a little bit in Nvidia. Not ready. I still like to get this thing lower for the long-term account. What do you think of Nvidia in here, Ty? I mean, interesting shelf level here. I mean, it's a good company. I wanted it lower. I wanted it more towards 100, but I'm impatient. What's your analysis? And I'll pull up the 4-hour for you in here on.
So I like Nvidia. I was looking at it on the more or less the higher time frames, daily and monthly, or daily and weekly, showing some divergence there. But look, it almost hit to the T the level I had drawn on where I think we could potentially bounce from. 140, 144 is the level I had drawn on Nvidia, and that's almost the low of the week, and I guess of the day yesterday. So I think we get a nice continuation out of here. It obviously had a lot of selling the last year, but we're hitting some really strong levels back from 2021, 2020. So I think we can get a little pop out of here.
Get a little pop. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking for more of a longer term standpoint. Love to get it down here, 115 area, 120, but I just don't have patience. I don't know. It's freaking market, man. But anyhow, and FOMO kicks in. Apple, same thing. Apple released their laptop with the M2 chips today. Got a little bounce this morning. Nice little run out of here. So they did hit it back down. But again, ABCD pattern kind of developing on Apple. I think if we can free up some buying shoes, again, Apple, kind of looking like it, you got a wick top up here. You got this level. If we look at the monthly chart on Apple, really looks like a head and shoulders pattern to me. Be honest with you, if you kind of look at that, doesn't it look like a head and shoulders pattern?
All right, Born Alarm.
I know, he's got me back. Remember that? It was like 6 months ago. He constantly had me seeing head and shoulders patterns. So I don't know. But the weekly chart, if we pull up the let me pull up the weekly chart in here, it's still kind of bear flagging it to me. So I'm not ready to establish a position in here. I like to see maybe, if we can, we're kind of wedging in here though a little bit, but if we can maybe break, and it's interesting, you see this trend line here kind of matches up with this trend line. So, it'd be interesting if we can maybe break out of here on a weekly basis next week, then, maybe I would think about buying some Apple. They have earnings at the end, more towards, I think it's 22nd, something like that. So it's more towards the end of this session. Marvell, I did dip my toes today in some Marvell.
Your mic cut out on you. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that. So I did buy some Marvell in here today. Made a small little gain in it, but nothing really to write home about to offset any losses that I had. If you look here, Celsius also we called this one out yesterday. Had a good little trade, made a few pennies in this one this morning. If you look at the intraday chart, you can kind of see it got going a little bit, up a point, and that's just, I caught like 50 cents and then I scalped it a little bit in here, but nothing really. It was just frustrating. I was just throwing my keyboard all over the place. I don't think people like that. But I still like this stock. I still like this company. I like where this is kind of sitting in here. Let me see if I can just expand this over here. And you can kind of see I like where this is. So it peaked above value, above its value zone. Now it's back into this area. So we'll see if it can hold up here, if we can maybe get some action and close above, then maybe this thing's got some, because it's got some open air. It's
got some opening air in here. I think this one can really run and do its thing. Carvana, yesterday, everybody got caught up in, because today, everybody got short squeezed out. It was great to watch. Today, the lockup period's over. Carvana's going bankrupt, so you expect some people to exit. Sitting on this ledge, I'd love to see this ledge break here, and I did take a small little short in here off of the nice little peak out where they tried to run it above yesterday's highs. But once it fell, you saw, they just didn't have any support. I mean, buyers had no stamina. So it's kind of sitting here at 26 levels. You see this 2580 level break. This thing could have a nice little jump down and fall down to the bottom. Caterpillar, we mentioned last week, heavy put buying in Caterpillar. Sometimes options activity does translate to the stock charts. Nice little drop in here on Caterpillar today, just continuing to come down. Good company that's just getting shellacked, and it's finally broken, to me, some support level in here. We're even below this little peak, little top in here, so be careful if you're into Caterpillar. AMD had a nice little run up in here at the 10:30 hour, kind of broke through VWAP, came back in, tested support. If you trade, you could have maybe got a few shekels, but couldn't hold and came back down. That's what you get with a flat VWAP. So now it's pushing up towards its opening print, pushing up towards the yesterday's close. So kind of hanging in there, and we'll see what happens with AMD. This is one that I trade regularly, and right now just kind of waiting it out as it's sitting down. But if you look at the monthly chart on AMD, I think we got some more room to go with AMD. ES, give me your futures levels in here. Let's pull up the 2 minutes, pull up the trading tab here. I tell you, we're in this 38.20. I said this morning. I think I said it to Simon. We're in this 38.20 to 38.38 level, tight range. I think there's a 90-point ATR, 98-point ATR on this, and we're so light. I mean, we're only 44% of ATR so far here and you can see this here on the mini. So very tight in here. Every time we kind of pierce down here, you can see this little box. They drove it out, drove it out, drove it out, drove it out, drove it out. Every time we kind of pierced up here, they drove it down, drove it down. We pierced out both of these, drove it down. I know Simon caught a couple good shorts in here, which were definitely pay dirt in there. So what I'm going to be looking for coming forward here is this 38 level. Obviously, I'm looking at this to the upside, 38.40. So if we can break through these levels, then I think we got more upside action to be had. The point of control for me right now in the mid was 38.28. If we can't hold this and we can't hold VWAP and we kind of fall back down, I'm looking for 38.20. And then should we, break 38.20, 38.10 to 38.07, really an area to look at in here, and then 3800, and then of course really 37.75 has been the gatekeeper so far, and then of course 37.20 says we're making new lows. On the upside, if we can break this 38.38, then we got this nice little ledge in here, 38.45, 38.55, and then you got 38.75, and there's a level, and then all the way up to 3900. So we'll see. Maybe we get nothing out of the non-farm. Maybe we'll get nothing out of here. I know a lot of traders, it's summer months. Don't forget, we're into summer months, so it's tough. But yeah, I mean, look, if we can close, I agree. Why don't we close above 38.50? Definitely bullish scenario. So we'll see. Damn, AMD at my price goal. Well, yeah, that's tough. You got to have some really big kahunas to start buying in here. I wouldn't go all in on your buying because I know, Mo, you're more of a long-term buyer, such as myself, so I wouldn't go all in, but I definitely, I think it's okay to start nibbling, depending on what you wish. Canada Kid, I wish I could create a buy list of all my stocks at market, which set amount of shares would be so much easier. Yeah, I mean, you just got to have your shopping list, and you got to know what levels you're looking for. And if you get them, great. If you don't get them, it's tough, right? So, I mean, JP Morgan, I see Mo likes JP Morgan. I like JP Morgan. I do. It's at the bottom down here. I mean, they got earnings. They typically, don't forget, the banks typically run up into their earnings and then they sell off on their earnings. So I'll be looking to possibly play JP Morgan on Friday after non-farm payrolls. Maybe the banks will get a little bit of lift. But you can kind of see where JP Morgan's kind of sitting in here. It's in this congestion zone. I would like to see it back above this kind of 118 area right here. For me, I also see Mo is looking at USPH. What do you think about this chart, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead. It's stock that Mo's been in for, he's talked about for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely coiling nicely in there. I think it has some upside potential. I actually like the potential buys, Mo. I mean, looking at the higher time frame, like the monthly that you had on there, it's already broken out of my level, so it's looking very attractive. If you hop to the monthly real quick, there's what I was looking at on this chart here is you broke through this descending trend line. You had last month create a retest wick, closed above, and now we're pushing bullish. So very nice potential buys in here. Your first level is going to be this consolidation, second level is up here. But as far as where we're sitting, we're creating these higher lows. I actually really like this one, Mo, personally. So
yeah, it's so it's tough. All right, well, I guess we're getting close to FOMC minutes getting ready to come out, so we'll kind of switch gears into here. That's that's kind of the way my trading felt like today. That's what I felt like the market looked like today.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get my trading shoes on and be hitting some order fills in here. See if we get some action in on here. I'm trying to look in at current sessions. I'm looking at Delta. It's all right. I mean, it's just we are above the point of control for the session. And Ty, you're gonna post. Yeah, and I like that, Mal. I like selling the puts. I think that's the way to go in this market. Mm-hmm. I really wish, though, that the VIX was high. You get a little bit more premium. Theta just got absolutely destroyed today in a lot of the monthly contracts. So you definitely got to be careful of that right in there. So you want to see, when I'm selling, I like to see a little bit higher as far as some of that's concerned. So 2 minutes, looks like the market's kind of getting a little jump on itself. You got tech cues getting a little jump on itself. IWM still blew view up, and nothing's moving IWM today. I mean, I like to use it as a market general too, and it's just, just not happening. Let me see what we got going on in here, and pull up our Bloomberg and see if there's anything. So, the reason FOMC minutes, typically it's funny, man, because we used to never trade FOMC minutes. But the reason FOMC minutes, I think, is a little bit more important is you're kind of looking for, from a market participant, to see what the what you're trying to get as much information as possible, right? You got a couple new voters. And so really, they basically said that they see the nominal rate 3.25 to 3.5 towards the end of the year. Well, that tells me 75 basis points July, 50 September, 25 November, 25 December. So that's a lot of hikes for the market to kind of price in. And you're looking for what would knock the Fed off course. So with nice little spike down on that candle, Ty.
Yeah, that's
nice.
I'm trying to see if the minutes came out at
Nice little
Wow.
spike down. I wish I would have been in a contract on that one.
Hmm. Let's see.
Now we're going up. So
There we
now
go.
we're don't get let the lay the land kind of settle itself, and then
I just posted the link to the PDF in the chat if anybody wants to read through that long article.
let's see if we get any action out of here. Fed officials saw 50 basis points, 75 hike at July. FOMC is likely even more restrictive policy in time. Okay. Come on, now let's see. Let's get a little pop out of here. I'm trying to look and trade at the same time. Come on, baby. Let's get a little pop out. So you got your levels kind of set in here, 380.41, 380.26 in here. Let's see if you can get a little action out of here. Significant risk. Hold on one sec. Fed recognized policy could slow growth for a time.
Dollar starting to slip.
Yeah, see any? What's your analysis in here, Ty?
Dollar starting to roll over. I'm still trying to search through headlines and stuff, so I don't have a full picture on it yet, but I'm seeing the dollar roll over. I probably see a continuation there. I wonder, so if the dollar's rolling over, probably wasn't too exciting about the, it probably didn't give us anything new at that point as far as future hikes.
Okay. I'm just trading the ranges in here. They're really not getting any type of action off of this as far as I'm
Almost all
concerned.
officials back to raising rates 75 basis point in June. Many participants. Yeah, so I mean, it's everything that's in the minutes is really.
Which
to no
rates
surprise.
are calm, man. What's going on with rates in here?
What are the rates doing? Yeah, the rates are just hanging out.
I almost get a feel that we're going to go one way or the other out of this. We're kind of just splashing around in here.
Fed officials recognize policy could slow growth for time. Yeah, so everything seems to be pretty in line with expectations.
I think we I don't know, man. I think we get a little buy out of here. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think the market was kind of pent up. We're not seeing an exact negative. When you don't see a negative reaction, I bought into some of these dips. We'll see. I'd be careful following me though, the way I traded today. Yeah, I mean, Mel, look where we were. The market almost seemed to want to go up today, right? And so that's the key. The market just seems poised. Now we do have non-farm payrolls tomorrow, which is not going to help things. Now we're getting a nice little push down to the bottom part.
Yeah.
What do you see in here, Ty? Anything? I don't see anything
Nothing.
that's exciting in here at all.
No, there's nothing.
Had deteriorated, one a huge 75-point. The staff lowered growth forecast for the second half, saw growth rebounding in the second quarter.
I don't think it will get.
So,
Watch out.
Getting the buy out of here now, so we're printing now.
Yeah, I think I could see the potential buy out of here. I mean, it's just there's nothing crazy in the minutes, so buy it away.
Yeah. Did you post the minutes, Ty?
Yeah, I posted the link to the minutes.
Yeah, so we're getting a little buy up out of here. Gave you a nice opportunity to buy down here. You had these three legs down here, which is nice.
Nice close.
Yeah, nice close. You got 38 level. This is the level I want to see hold in here.
If we break where we're at, clear skies to high a day. Clear room.
Yeah, we're kind of getting a little clear room in here, huh?
Pretty clean move up to highs here.
So you're able to buy off this level in here. Now we're watching the 38.45 level, which is important. I'm gonna take some profits right up here.
$38.50 is going to be that area you're going to want to watch.
Yeah, looking good so far.
Mo, I'm laughing.
What?
No, it's just I'm laughing. Just stuck on that housing market. Did Powell say anything about mortgage rate or housing?
He said, "Don't buy a fucking house."
Sorry, Mo. I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
Nice action out of here.
Long story short, nothing there hitting at a pivot. Yeah, no, agreed, Mal. There's nothing in there hinting towards anything. So everything's in line with expectations.
Yeah, there's not much that I see that's of importance in here. We had a nice little trade out of here. So nice little pop. Yeah, there's not much change in the Fed funds future. They're still pricing 0.7% for the July meeting. So we haven't seen much change. Yeah, I mean, look, Fed minutes are talking about a 3-week ago event that, and since then crude oil has plunged 20%. So that's definitely something to keep, in what we're looking for and what market participants were looking for was something to that would, signal, what is the Fed looking for to be able to maybe, stop hiking rates? What, we really didn't get any surprises in here, I don't think, that I'm seeing.
Oh, Mo, congrats. Mo's going to be a dad. Oh, man.
Mo?
We gotta throw a gender reveal party in here. Congrats. That's so exciting.
Oh my God. Yeah, Mo, we gotta have a party. No way, Mo. Good stuff. Everybody congratulate Mo.
That's exciting. Welcome to the club.
Oh, good for you, buddy. Good for you. Well, Mo, welcome to the club. Obviously, I had 4 of them. Tyler got 1. Nick's got 1. So, welcome to the club, buddy. Now you got to really protect those profits.
Yeah.
So, good stuff, Mo. Wow. Well, we had a good trade in here, guys.
Yeah.
A good trade in here. Up, you had these 3 little these wicks down here. Got a nice ride up to 38.45. You had a nice little recovery back into 38.38 like we were looking for. But now, we really couldn't sustain ourselves above this 38.45. So you got your levels now to look at, guys. Okay, you got your, we got our top end of the range. We got our bottom end of the range, and so now, we're back to a regularly scheduled program of worrying about. What are we worrying about now, Ty? Non-farm payrolls?
Yeah, Friday got non-farm, and take another look at the housing or the jobs market. So yeah, but definitely running some resistance here. Fun day trading range, but now I probably want to chop around today.
Yeah, the baby will teach you something new. No, I'm just letting you know. You will learn a lot from a baby. It's going to teach you some patience, that's for sure.
Yeah, that'll help with trading though. Patience.
Exactly. You'll become a better trader.
Right.
Just remember, who needs sleep anyhow? So nice little sell reaction out of here, Ty. Nice rejection. So Algo's kind of hit the sell button in here.
Yeah. Nasty trading range. I mean, the hourly chart's just showing just a lot of rejection at 38.50, a lot of rejection at 38.10. So looks like it's going to maintain that range for a while.
This is F this range, Tyler. I'm
yeah.
tired. I am so tired of this effing range. I'll zoom in here. I mean, look at this. This is just not a day that's conducive for fucking trading.
Yep.
Wow, good stuff, man. I was tempted on that sell, not gonna lie. Yeah, I know, Simon. I know. But I mean, we had a nice little buy off of here, and now we're back. Now we're kind of be fighting this this level. What I'd like to see, and I'll kind of let me zoom in here a little bit. What I would really like to see is I'd like to see us, break above here, Ty, and then come back and retest it and then go.
Yeah.
Because I think, we've had, don't forget, guys, look, this is the range we're sitting at, 44%. Crazy.
Yeah. It's looking like it's going to maintain that range.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, guys, interesting, not interesting. Had one good little trade out of it. We did learn. What did I tell you, Chris M? So I blew it. Chris M, you have nobody to blame but yourself. So, Chris M, I told him this morning, Ty, I said, you're going away on vacation. Don't effing trade, or be careful if you effing trade, because I more times than not, I've traded the day before going on vacation, and because you don't want to sit in a car.
Right.
Ugh, it's crazy.
No.
So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the little flyer in here. We got 38.40. We got about 155 lots sitting on 38.40 level 2. So I'm going to see if they can get a little push out of here. What do you think? No? Not going to happen?
Dude, this market has no interest in me right now. It's just...
It really does have no interest, right?
It had that nice move, and now it's just going to go back to its hole. And
Go
hibernate.
back to its hole.
It's going to hibernate till Friday.
What's that?
So it's going to hibernate till Friday.
Very well possibly could. So we do... I guess that's not going to work. Okay. Nice. So that ain't going to work in here. So you got all kind of rejection area in here. It looks like the market just wants to shop around, and I have no interest in that. All right. Well, watch the 38 level. Watch the down. Mo, congratulations. Man, Theta gang having a laugh. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said earlier. It's just crazy. All right, guys, well, we're going to cut it off here. Market just does not seem to want to break one way or the other. We'll be watching 38 on the upside, 38.28 downside. If it's still in this chop zone, don't even bother.
Yeah.
So we had rejection. So good stuff. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Good trade,
Thanks
guys.
for hanging out with us. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you tomorrow.